There is one task on my to-do list that has been there for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I look at it every day. I move it to tomorrow, and then I feel terrible about myself.
I know that task. For me, it is usually the one email I really do not want to write. I clean my desk instead. I make tea. I do everything except open that email.
Yes, you're so spot on. For me, suddenly the kitchen is spotless.
Welcome back to Book Takeaways for Professional Growth Podcast. I'm Marcus, this is Sophia, and we are in episode 2 of our 3-part series on Intentional by Chris Bailey. Today, procrastination. Why it happens, and more importantly, what to actually do about it.
If you missed episode 1, we talked about the intention stack and why we start goals but do not finish them. Today, we go one level deeper. What do you do when you have a goal but you still cannot bring yourself to start?
Let's go.
Segment 1. The pain. I feel constant resistance around boring or difficult tasks. I wait for motivation and then feel guilty for not starting.
Let's talk about the feeling. You have an important task. You know you need to do it, but every time you look at it, there is this heaviness, like a wall.
Bailey calls this resistance, and he says something important. Resistance is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a signal. It usually means the task feels too big, too unclear, or not connected to something you care about.
That is very different from how most people talk about procrastination, right? Usually we say, I am just lazy, or I have no discipline.
And that self-criticism makes it worse. You feel bad about feeling bad, and then you procrastinate more to escape the bad feeling.
A cycle. So what does Bailey suggest instead?
He says, stop trying to force yourself through resistance. Instead, get curious about it. Ask, why does this task feel hard? Is it too big? Too vague? Does it feel pointless? The answer tells you what to fix.
Not fight it. Understand it. I like that. Segment 2. The key takeaways. Shrinking your resistance level.
So the first main tool is what Bailey calls shrinking your resistance level. The idea is simple and honestly a little funny.
Tell me.
Instead of asking, do I want to do this whole big task? You ask, what is the smallest version of this task that I can agree to do right now?
So you negotiate with yourself.
Exactly. Bailey gives a great example. Imagine you planned to meditate for 40 minutes. You ask yourself, do I want to meditate for 40 minutes? Your body says absolutely not, so you lower the number. 20 minutes? Still no. 10, maybe, 5. Yes, fine, 5 minutes is okay.
And then you just do 5 minutes.
Yes, and often, once you start, you want to continue. But even if you stop at 5 minutes, you did something. You broke the wall.
I tried this last week, actually. I had to write a difficult feedback for a colleague. I kept avoiding it. So I said, okay, I will just open the document and write 3 bullet points. That is all.
And?
I ended up writing the whole thing in 20 minutes, because once I started, it was not so scary anymore. The resistance was about starting, not about doing.
That is exactly Bailey's point. The resistance is usually at the door. Once you step through the door, the room is fine.
So the trick is just to make the step to the door very small.
Perfect way to put it. Now, the second tool is called mental contrasting. This comes from psychology research, and Bailey uses it a lot. Here is how it works.
Walk us through it.
Before you start a task, you do 2 things in your mind. First, you imagine the positive result. You picture how you will feel when the task is done. Lighter, more confident, relieved. Really feel it for a moment.
That part is nice.
The second part is the important part. You ask yourself, what will probably get in my way? Be honest. Maybe it is your phone. Maybe it is a noisy environment. Maybe it is your own self-doubt. Bailey says, do not ignore these obstacles. Name them.
And then what?
Then you make simple if-then plans. If my phone distracts me, then I will put it in another room for 20 minutes. If I feel stuck on one part, then I will move to a different part and come back later. Small, clear decisions made in advance.
So you are not surprised when the obstacle appears. You already have an answer.
Exactly. Research shows that people who make if-then plans are much more likely to follow through than people who just try their best.
And what I love about both tools, they are kind. Bailey is not saying, push harder or wake up at 5 in the morning and suffer. He is saying, work with how you actually feel, not how you think you should feel.
And this connects back to episode 1. Remember the intention stack? When a task is connected to your values, the resistance is naturally lower. These two tools work even better when your task already has a clear why behind it. Segment 3. Action this week.
Okay, let's make this real. This week's action has 3 small steps.
Step 1. Choose one task you have been avoiding. Write it down. It should be something that truly matters, not just something someone else put on your list.
Step 2. Connect it to a value. Just one sentence. Why does this task matter in the bigger picture? This is your short version of the intention stack from episode 1. For example, writing this report shows respect for my team's time and helps me feel professional.
Step 3. Use the shrinking method. Ask yourself, how much time am I truly willing to give this task today? If 60 minutes feels like too much, try 30. Try 15. Try 10. Find the number that does not make you want to run away.
Once you have your time, make one tiny, specific goal for that block. Not work on the report, but write the introduction paragraph only. Small enough that it feels almost silly.
Then do your mental contrasting. 30 seconds. Picture the feeling of finishing, even just this small piece. Then ask, what is one thing that might stop me? And make your if-then plan.
Then start. And when you finish, even the small version, notice how you feel. That feeling is important. It is proof that you can begin.
Do this for one task this week, and if it works, try it with a second task. You are training your brain to trust you. Closing and what's next?
That is episode 2. The key message, resistance is not your enemy. It is information. Use it. Make the task smaller. Plan for the obstacles and start before you feel ready.
If you missed episode 1, we covered the intention stack and how to connect your goals to your values. That is a great foundation for everything we talked about today. Go back and listen if you have not yet. Find the card on the top right of the screen or the link in the description below.
And in episode 3, we look at the big picture, how to take all these tools and design a daily life that actually moves your most important goals forward, even on your busiest days.
Episode 3 is out now for our newsletter subscribers. It is a great one for anyone who feels like they are always reacting, always putting out fires, and never getting to their real work.
Thanks for listening. Share this episode to someone who is fighting resistance and procrastination today. She will definitely appreciate your thoughtfulness.
And we thank you for sharing and giving others the chance to try out the tools taught in this episode of Book Takeaways for Professional Growth podcast.
Again, this week, take action, pick one task, shrink it, and start. Small beats, perfect every time. See you in episode 3. Take care.
Yes, take care and keep growing.